Okay, so you can see from this update that my American Airlines new livery planes are out. This is the first time I was able to use a 777 in my updates. I got to use my American One World, which we'll get to a little closer here in a minute. There's also going to be a couple of 757s, a bunch of baby buses, 737s, ERJ 190s. Those are going to be my mainline American Airlines fleets. I've got a bunch of ERJs and CRJs at my commuter terminal, and I've got a one lone Dash 8 Series 100 at my commuter gates. I am in the process of plussing up those commuters a little bit as far as my new livery American Airlines ones. I have an old US Airways, the final livery on order, and I'm thinking about getting another of those new livery Dash 8s, so we'll see how that goes. I've also got a couple more sets of new GSE out on this update. I got the guy that makes all my 3D printed GSE. I got that order in finally. I know a lot of that stuff is not finished yet. I've got to paint it and make it look just right. So the stuff that's out there is the stuff that came finished, and we'll talk about which stuff that is. And I also have a couple more GSE sets from my JC Wings kits that I got. All right, so as typical, we'll go ahead and start over here at gate 22, which is really my only wide body gate. And you can see this 777 just barely fits in there. Not a whole lot of space between that and the wing of my 757 right next to it. A lot of stuff's different at this particular gate here. In fact, this is one of my new jetways. So most of my jetways are Mozart, and you can see, comparing this one to the one next to it, there are some differences between the two. This one, of course, is the 3D printed one, and all in all, the quality on it is very nice. I was very happy with how it came out. I did notice that it is a little larger and dimensionally than my Mozart ones, and I actually thought my Mozart ones were actually a little big as it was anyway. So I'll probably end up using these new ones, and I've got 6 of them as it stands right now for my wide bodies and maybe my medium to narrow bodies. But as far as the commuters or the regional jets, they just look a little too large to really sit at those gates. So but I'm really happy to have them. They came out really nice. I like the way the awning looks on these. It's detachable awnings, so that's the way it's set up for with an airplane at the gate. You can put in another black little canvas. It doesn't go out as far for when the aircraft is pulled away. I have my own gate number up top there, but otherwise it's fully pivotable. It rotates left and right, and it does telescope up and down, although it's not quite as user-friendly as the Mozarts to go up and down, but it still does work. The other different thing on here is I got my JC Wings tow tug. Now, I know they're all KLM, but if you ignore those little details, it is a kind of a cool little tow tug for the wide bodies there. So gate 22, this 777-200, the One World livery, is just in the process of finishing up boarding and getting prepared to get pushed back. All right, in gates 24 and 26, I've got a couple of American Airlines 757-200s. Both are in the pre-boarding process. The one in the foreground is getting loaded up, forward and aft with luggage. The one in the background is getting fueled, and each one of them has a catering truck on the aft end of the aircraft. All right, next to that, one of my newest models. It's one of my 2 Airbus A321s, the former US Airways version. All right, with the standard wing fences. This one's also taking on fuel at gate number 28. All right, now we're moving into gates 30 and 32. They are both housing 737-800s. That is the only version of the 737 that American uses. One of them in the background is getting fueled up under the wing, and the one in the foreground is just arrived and is about to start deplaning passengers. All right, moving into one of my custom models. This thing started out as a Gemini 200, Merica West, standard livery A320. I removed the Merica West banner, installed my own custom American logo. Although not 100% realistic, because America West livery jet is actually a 319. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any 319s in the 1 to 200 scale from Merica West, so there you go. I think the 320 came out real nice. I'm very happy with the way it looks. And that one is getting loaded up. I got his GPU cart hooked up to the nose there and got the pilot pre-flighting around the engine. All right, this is one of my few non-Gemini models. This is a Herpa 1 to 200 Airbus A319. One of my other videos has a review between that and the Gemini version. I really like the Herpa one. They've done such a great job on their new plastic models. Much better than models that they've done in the past. That one is gate number 29. You can see the pilot just finished his pre-flight. He's about to walk up the ladder, get back into the aircraft. All right, pulling in gate number 27 is one of my other customs. This is the American A321, another former U.S. Airways Airbus. This one is in the process of entering the gate for on arrival. Same thing I did to the Merica West one. I removed the old banner, put on the new logo, and there you go. I really like the way that one came out. All right, it gets 25 and 23 and 25 are a couple of Embraer E190s, both in the process of getting loaded up with luggage. Standard E190s there. All right, getting into my commuters. I have a single ERJ175 getting loaded up at gate number 33. And you can see this is one of the other things I got with my batch of new GSC. I got these new belt loaders. They are a little smaller than the Gemini 200 one, so I tend to like to hook them up to my RJs and commuters. I keep the larger ones for the mainline jets. I have about 6 of those now, and you'll see those scattered about the RJs through this update. I got a couple of CRJ 700s. I can't wait for Gemini to ever release the 900. I think that's going to be a good one. I think it's coming soon. And I have a bunch of the ERJ 145s here at gate 39, and then across the way at gate number 34. A couple more CRJ 700s at gates 38 and 36. And then there's my other ERJ 145. And that's my commuter, or my RJ terminal. And then I do have my one lone Dash 8 Series 100 in the process of getting boarded up, fueled up, and loaded up. Okay, you can see my air stair. That's from the same gentleman that made the rest of that GSC for me, as well as the gate check cart is a new addition as well, which is what they're walking by as they board the stairway there. And then my one overflow gate is my Gemini version of their A319. Just hooked up with the air stair. Nothing else really happening over here. And that is my entire update. The next one is going to feature my Southwest models. I have a couple of new ones. The Maryland 1 and the old Mustard Livery Southwest 737. And so that's going to be a neat one. I might have some other random ones out there with it. And again, in the future, I will endeavor to expand this terminal so I can fit more models. I thought 28 gates was going to be plenty, but it turns out it's not quite enough. So it's going to involve getting a couple more tables, expanding the terminal that direction. Hopefully I can get that done by the summer.